Hola, English user students. It's me, Oliver. And today we're looking at lessons 15 and 16. Lesson 15 talks about taking trips. By the end of this lesson, you will learn how to describe events and where people were in the past. As well, you will be able to express purpose and opinion in your sentences. Lesson 16 focuses on weekend plans. By the end of this lesson, you will learn more about how to talk about events in the past as well. Let's start with lesson 15. How was your trip? When you are traveling, there are lots of different things that you may need to pack. Here are some examples. A map, a toothbrush, toothpaste, a laptop, a sleeping bag, sneakers, a blanket, a flashlight, jeans, a notebook, hiking boots, an umbrella, headphones, a towel, and a passport. What are your top travel tips? Well, depending on the type of trip, you will need to pack accordingly. If you plan to lay on the beach, bring sunscreen. It helps to prevent sunburn. You can use your camera or your cell phone to take lots of pictures. For a business trip, bring a small suitcase. For a longer road trip, bring a bigger suitcase. When you go camping, you use a sleeping bag. And don't forget to bring bug repellent. When you go on a trip with your school, this is called a field trip. Bring a notebook. Now, let's discuss how to talk about events in the past and expressing purpose. Listen closely to the following two sentences. Try to find out how they are separated. I go fishing to relax. I take my water to work because I get thirsty. I take the bus to get to work quickly. I go home every day because I want to eat dinner. Do you notice that one part has an infinitive of purpose, or the action being taken, and the other has the reason or intention for the action? The infinitive of purpose is shown through the verb choice, in this case go or take. The reason part is shown through the part following because or to in the above examples. When we use to explain the purpose of an action, it must be followed by a verb. Because can be followed by a full sentence. Look at these examples in action. I take a credit card to have money all the time. I take a credit card because I need to have money all the time. I go camping to get away from the city. I go camping because I want to get away from the city. Here's a practice sentence where you could use this structure. What do you do to relax? I like to watch TV to relax. When I first get home, I go sit on the couch because it is the closest to the door. Now, let's look about how to express an opinion about an action. This is found in sentences such as, it is important to be active. Or, it is necessary to take a map on your trip. Or even, it is a good idea to be prepared in advance. Each of those examples is formed by be plus an adjective, necessary, important, key, etc., plus a phrase in the infinitive, to, and the verb. Here are some examples of the start of sentences. It is good to, it is a good idea to, it is difficult to, it isn't necessary to, it is easy to. Lastly, we are going to talk about the final part of lesson 15, using the verb to be in the past, which can describe where people were and how things were. In affirmative sentences, we can say, I, he, she was at the party. You, we, they were at the party. In negative sentences, we can say, I, he, she wasn't at the party. You, we, they weren't at the party. In yes or no questions, were you at the party? Yes, I was. Or, no, I wasn't. Were your friends at the party? Yes, they were. Or, no, they weren't. Was your father at work? Yes, he was. Or, no, he wasn't. Or in information questions, we use question words. Where were you last night? I was at a party. How was your trip? It was fantastic. I have a question for you. What was your favorite part of last weekend? My favorite part was when I went out with friends. It was so much fun. Wow. We've learned a lot of different vocabulary for taking trips, how to describe events and people in the past, as well as expressing purpose or our opinion in a sentence. Let's switch to lesson 16, where we will discuss weekend plans. Here, you will learn more about how to talk about events in the past. How was your weekend? Was it good? Was it not so good? Was it terrible? Well, what did you do? Here are some examples of answering that question, using different weekend activities in the past. Pay attention to irregular verbs. I did nothing. I went home. I watched a movie. I went to the doctor's. I traveled. I relaxed. I got together with my family. I went grocery shopping. I rested. I played a sport. I had a birthday party. I went to France. I slept in. I gave my dog a bath. I stayed in my bedroom. Let's look at some more examples of describing past actions, but this time, see how they change in affirmative and negative sentences. Did you have fun? Yes, I did. Or, no, I didn't. I went grocery shopping. I didn't go grocery shopping. It rained. It didn't rain. We had a barbecue. We didn't have a barbecue. She went to the movies. She didn't go to the movies. Great work. Be careful not to forget the do not, or did not in your negative sentences. To emphasize when an action in the past took place, we can include phrases like last week, last weekend, yesterday, or other examples as well. Here are some examples in sentences. We stayed home yesterday. We slept in last weekend. The kids played soccer last week. I didn't go to the movies with my boyfriend last weekend. They didn't stay up late yesterday. Let's talk about pronunciation now. Think about how you are saying any verb ending with ed in English. Do they all sound the same? They shouldn't. There are 3 different sounds that ed can make at the end of a sentence, and they all depend on sounds and letters before it. Verbs that end with a d or t sound, the ed is pronounced as id. Wanted, needed. Verbs that end with a p, k, s, sh, ch, and f sound, the ed is pronounced as t, as a t sound. Stopped, worked, washed, watched, laughed. Verbs that end with everything else, the ed is pronounced as d, or the d sound. Called, cleaned, enjoyed. Listen for the difference between the following verbs: helped, loved, danced, played, talked, accepted, decided, listened, repeated. Let me show them in action, in phrases. Last weekend, I played soccer for 4 hours. I loved it so much. And after it finished, I decided to go watch a soccer game on the television. I watched 2 that night, and I talked with my friends for hours and hours. It was awesome. The verbs that I said in the past in those sentences were played, loved, finished, decided, watched, talked, and then was. All right, English user students. That concludes lessons 15 and 16. We looked at the different ways to talk about trips and past actions, and expressing purposes and opinion. Don't forget to practice these new skills so you don't forget them. See you in the next lesson and good luck. Ciao.